Now please welcome the founding dean of the Indiana University School of Global and International Studies, Lee Feinstein.
This is pretty cool. Welcome to the class of 2016 and congratulations. Congratulations on making it from the football stadium to the atrium in one piece. And congratulations to the nearly 200 students in this graduating class, undergraduates, master's, and doctoral students. This was my third commencement year since becoming dean, and I've watched the numbers at SGIS grow every year, and the lines of hands to shake at the larger graduation program grows every year. I was very pleased to have a long line of doctoral and master's students this year at yesterday's ceremony, and the SGIS cohort at the football stadium, all the way in the back at the right. I saw you. You were great and big, and it even produced a smile from the university president for me, as well as the trustees, so thank you very much. Of course, you're all brilliant, but the class of 2016 also has extremely good timing. You're the first class to graduate from this beautiful, environmentally sustainable building, which opened this academic year. In your commencement year, Secretary of State John Kerry came to Bloomington, the first sitting Secretary of State to visit the campus in a generation. He came to give a major foreign policy address, which many of you got to hear, and came to inaugurate this school, SGIS, in its home, in this very room where we gather today. And you can check out the plaque to Secretary Kerry to my left, right over there. And I'll say more about that in a minute. And not long after Secretary Kerry's visit, Yo-Yo Ma, one of the world's most gifted cellists, played a concert just down the hall in this building. He and his Silk Road Ensemble performed, and Maestro Ma spoke about the value of arts as a bridge linking people, nations, and cultures, and teaching students how to build such bridges, which is exactly the mission of SGIS. And then about a month ago, Senator Dick Lugar and Representative Lee Hamilton, two powerful forces for a principled and pragmatic foreign policy in a complicated and difficult world, hosted the first annual conference on America's role in the world, also down the hall in our auditorium. This was a 3-day conference. It was nationally televised. Okay, it was on C-SPAN, but still pretty good. It brought together about a dozen of our own scholars from here at SGIS and IU, with some of the nation's other leading foreign policy scholars and practitioners to discuss issues facing the next president. And I won't say more about that in a graduation speech. And to a person, every one of the guests and every one of our scholars was impressed by the number of students who attended, by the quality of the questions the students asked, and I want to thank our student ambassadors who worked directly with our visitors and who I hope made sure to get our visitors business cards. Let me thank our student ambassadors who did a great job. The class of 2016 not only has very good timing, but you have many achievements to your credit. But before I extol your virtues further, and I will, it's your day after all, I want to acknowledge a few others in the room. To significant others, to parents, family, friends who made these 4 years possible for you graduates at SGIS, please stand up and join us in thanking all of them. Graduates, please stand up. And to the parents, family, friends, and others, thank you for shaping these graduates and then allowing us the pleasure of teaching and learning from them while they were with us here in Bloomington. Finally, I'd like to welcome and thank the faculty and staff. This is a big university, and even as SGIS grows, we are very proud of the individual attention our faculty and staff and career advisors and academic advisors give to our students. It's what makes us distinctive, and it's been a big and important part of the student experience here. So everyone, please join me in thanking our faculty and staff. Okay, so now let me get back to the class of 2016. You are Fulbright scholars, Peace Corps volunteers, consultants at major global businesses, members of the military. Some of you will be working close to home in Chicago, Indianapolis, and Washington, D.C., and many of you will be traveling overseas to Argentina, Australia, Brussels, Colombia, France, Japan, Russia, and elsewhere. About 2/3 of you studied overseas during your time in SGIS. You've gained language fluency in everything from Arabic to Mandarin Chinese, Dari, Hindi, Pashto, Turkish, and many more of the 70 languages we offer here. You've completed dissertations on the lives of Syrian refugees, on classical Arabic poetry, and on modern novels in the Gulf. And you've done something that cuts across whatever field you have focused on while at SGIS and whatever academic level. By developing the ability to write well, read analytically, and by studying cultural and transnational forces that shape our world, you have developed not only language fluency, but also global fluency. And you embody our belief that if you seek to change the world, first seek to understand the world. And we're very proud of you. Yes? So one request and a bit of advice to our graduates. And you've heard this before and you don't adequately believe it. So I will say it again and in the hopes that you do. Look at the people around you now and stay in touch with them. The faculty and staff who you got to know, some of the students too, we like you, we want to be in touch with you, and we're very honored to have gotten to know you in the course of the last few years. But principally, your fellow students, because the people around you are going to be your peers for many years to come. And you never know how that will work out. And I'm not talking about somebody who might help you get a job, well, that's a good thing. But I'm talking about people who can give you advice, people who've had similar experiences to you, people who you trust, people who you can count on. So please stay in touch with each other, and also please stay in touch with us, because we want to follow you, we want to be able to help you, we also want to be able to benefit from your great successes and sharing them down the road. So if you haven't already, please, here's Chuck. Fill out those forms you have that we have out for you that give us information. I mentioned John Kerry and the plaque, and I'll end with just a brief reference to that. There's the plaque over there. I like it because it, among other things, has my name on it. But I like it especially because it says something very meaningful that he said during the major foreign policy address he gave here last October. And if you'll allow me, I'll just quote him briefly. I hope we will go out of here with the purpose of creating an ever stronger global community, open to all, demanding of each, intimidated by none. A community not of governments alone, but of people from all walks of life and from all countries, bound together by a shared faith in the freedoms of thought, speech, press, and religion. A community committed to peace, respectful of nature and its limits, and dedicated to upholding the fundamental dignity of every human being. Having gotten to know many of you over these past few years, I leave here with confidence that you share this mission, and I wish you every success. Congratulations. I know you've done a lot of sitting around today. So let me tell you what is about to happen. We have two students who will be giving a graduate student and an undergraduate student who will be making remarks to you, and I'll tell you a little bit about them later. And then we'd like to honor each of our students by asking them to come up, have their names announced, say a little bit about people they want to acknowledge, and we'll snap a picture of all of them and make that available to all of you. So first, let me introduce our first student speaker. I'd like to introduce our graduate student speaker, Xiaoya Koli, from China, where she earned her BA in Translation and Interpretation. She graduates today with an MA in Arabic and Middle Eastern Affairs from the Department of Near Eastern Languages and Cultures. An outstanding student, she earned the Foreign Language and Area Studies Fellowship in Arabic in 2014. We are very proud of her. Please come up and join us.
Hello, class of 2016. I'm very honored today to have been chosen as the graduate speaker today. Just over 4 years ago, I was working in the foreign media in Beijing as a news producer, covering issues ranging from China's domestic and foreign policies, economic reforms, social problems, and also political dissidents. During my work, one area I found that I had interest is China's relations with the Middle East, and how these relations could affect China's relations with America. So due to this interest, I started learning Arabic on the weekends. And one day, my husband received an email that offered him a 5-year scholarship to pursue a PhD here at IU in the Department of Political Science. We were very excited because it's a good news. And I was excited is because I know IU has very good foreign languages and also area study programs. And I realized that this could actually help push me out of my comfort zone and pursue my goal of studying Arabic full-time and also the Arab world. Therefore, we packed our bags and moved to Bloomington in 2012. After arriving in Bloomington, I started auditing the second and third year Arabic courses at the Department of Near Eastern Languages and Cultures, also known as NALC. I really enjoyed my study at NALC and therefore decided to apply for this master's degree program where I could further study Arabic and also China's involvement in the Middle East. Studying at NALC was a great experience. In addition to studying Arabic, I was able to take courses on everything, ranging from the role of modernity in Islam, the history of Iran, Iraq, and Egypt, and also how to set up a research design for my paper. I was able to finish the highest level of Arabic offered at IU at the first year of my study. And this has provided me with a level of fluency that I could not have otherwise achieved. So this year, I wrote my MA thesis on China's involvement in Iraq by using my language skills to do research. I say, what I have achieved over the past 4 years could not have happened without the deep and broad support of the faculty at NALC. For example, Professor Warbridge has been extremely helpful in terms of selection of courses and also career advice. Without a doubt, IU has enriched my life way beyond expectation. Overall, this is my story of the past 4 years at IU as a Chinese woman, naturalized American speaking Arabic. But you But you may not care all that much about what my experiences here have been. This is why I want to tell you what your experiences can be over the next 1 to 10 years or even a lifetime. After this ceremony today, most of us will have a window of opportunity that few people in this world ever get. I use the word freedom, not in the way the politicians who have been traipsing through our state over the past few weeks have used it. This is not a banalization of the word, but a much more nuanced version of it. We have the freedom to experience this world that no other generation has. For older generations, the idea of boarding a 777 and arriving in a place like Jakarta 24 hours later was perhaps a romantic dream or even an irresponsible fantasy. My mother's generation, who's sitting here in the audience today, experienced... Yes, thank you. Sorry. For my mother's generation, they experienced the horrors of Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution, and as a result, were denied a proper education. So for them, the idea of traveling or living in a far-off lands were impossible. The phrase, "the world is your oyster," is a cliche that few people ever pursue. But I assume most, if not all of us in this building today are adherents to this idea and ideology. I strongly encourage all of you to take advantage of your newfound freedom and knowledge and do something that not only change others, but may also change you. For example, apply to Peace Corps and spend 2 years in a village in Mozambique and teach English for 1 year or 3 years in Ulaanbaatar, or volunteer for a year in Calcutta. These are experiences that can help to define you and provide you with different perception of not only the world, but also your own country, and most importantly, of yourself. For those of us who have student debt, see if you can defer the student loans. If you are in a relationship, bring your girlfriend and boyfriend with you to teach. At the end of the day, life is about the experiences, and you may not have another opportunity to have this sort of adventure. When I quit my job in China, many people told me this was not a good idea, and I was being irresponsible. But now, the same people often tell me they're envious of my experiences. The world is changing so quickly. All one has to do is to look at the fact that IU has over 3,000 Chinese students. When I was undergrad, these numbers were unheard of. So in the years ahead, cities with names such as Bangalore or Shenzhen will become, if they are not already, places where we go for business or recruiting trips. So my message to you today is visit these places and understand how they operate and work so as to better understand the way the world is changing. And that's my speech today. And thank you all very much. And congratulations, class of 2016. Thank you.
I don't know what to say except wow. Thank you very much. And thanks for the excellent career advice to all of us. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our second student speaker, Megan Kelly. Megan grew up right here in Bloomington, but has studied the world here at IU, earning her BA in International Studies with certificates in Latin America and Caribbean Studies at SGIS, as well as Nonprofit Management at SPIA. Kelly is also a Hutton Honors student, a member of Phi Beta Kappa, and also a member of the International Studies Honor Society, Sigma Iota Rho, which is now in its second year at SGIS. Her achievements include being a Founders Scholar at IU for 4 years, as well as earning the Capstone Scholar Award in International Studies On a personal note, I've also gotten to know her parents, so it's a particular pleasure for me to introduce Megan Kelly.
Thank you, Dean Feinstein, for that introduction. Sorry that I'm still in my graduation garb. I never want to take it off, so. I wasn't given a prompt for writing this speech, but if there's one thing I'm realizing as these past 4 years come to a close, it's that life doesn't give you a prompt either. There is no outline, no rubric for how we proceed from here. We have no guiding hand leading us to the right answer. The page in front of us is blank, and we have the entire world to explore and to understand. But given what I've seen come out of this particular crop of SGIS students, I'm not worried. I think this is exactly the kind of challenge we will conquer well and conquer happily. We are a group of globally minded researchers, activists, and scholars, and our 4 years at this school have shaped us into the future leaders we are today. My own experience in Bloomington began before many of yours. I went to high school here, spending my formative years hanging out on Kirkwood and eating on 4th Street. I went to my first concert at the IU Auditorium in 2009. I stayed in Briscoe while at soccer camp on campus, and I took my first high school boyfriend to Beck Chapel to see the church where my parents got married 30 years ago. But it wasn't until I started here in 2012 that I truly understood what it meant to be an international studies student at Indiana University. Here, I learned the power of scholarship, the potential of research, and the formidable effect that one individual uniting with a group can have on a movement. I learned how to be an activist, and then I applied that framework within a global context. My career as an activist began my freshman year when I co-founded the Gay Straight Alliance with a friend here on campus. The following summer, I took my newfound sense of involvement abroad for the first time to Peru to try my hand at international development. I took what I had learned in international studies courses and analyzed the problems and advantages of global development theories and frameworks while working directly to develop the capacity of youth programs in Piura, Peru. Sophomore year, I returned to my work with the Gay Straight Alliance and introduced a global perspective to the group, giving presentations to fellow GSA members on LGBTQ rights and issues around the world. Junior year, I spent a semester in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where I studied the military dictatorship of 1976 to 83, which inflicted horrific crimes against humanity on its citizens. I examined the movement for truth, justice, and memory that emerged in the aftermath of this conflict and realized my passion for studying post-conflict reconstruction. That summer, I took this awareness and did an internship with Center for American Progress's Project to End Genocide and Crimes Against Humanity worldwide. I focused on experiences with human rights violations and conflict in East Africa and participated in an effort to provide real solutions to these issues. Senior year, I wrote my capstone paper on memory politics in post-military dictatorship Argentina and looked at the institutionalization of memory through memory spaces that were once centers of detention and torture. By this point, I have collected an array of experiences that have fundamentally shaped who I am and how I want to change the world. Next year, I look forward to taking these energies to Bogota, Colombia with a Fulbright grant. These types of experiences were only possible with the inspiration I found in SGIS. This past year alone, I heard Secretary John Kerry speak, ate lunch with Senator Lugar and Congressman Hamilton, and attended the America's Role in the World Conference. I learned from faculty dedicated to studying human rights issues worldwide and enriched myself with the many resources this school provides for its students. And as I've collected all these life-changing experiences and formed my own passions for changing the world, I've perhaps been even more excited to get to witness the movements emerging and growing all around me among international studies and SGIS students. I've been a participant in some and an observer of others, but overall I've seen how capable these individuals are of taking on challenges and changing the world. I've witnessed my classmates finding their passion for research through the process of writing a thesis and exchanging ideas with one another, landing on topics ranging from human rights concerns around the world to foreign policy concerns of the US. I've heard stories of the volunteer work and internships done in all parts of the world that have improved the lives of local populations. I've watched a growing student activist movement to end discrimination toward Muslims and other marginalized groups in our country. I've seen student groups like Sigma Iota Rho and International Studies Undergraduate Association work to improve the student experience and create the strongest international studies scholars there can be. I've noticed the different ways in which IU students immerse themselves in foreign cultures while living in Bloomington, whether at Lotus Fest or IU World's Fair or any of the many multicultural events put on by the students of this school. I've observed the ongoing campaign to end sexual assault and violence against women, not only in our community but all around the world, done through activism, advocacy, and expanding research on women's issues. I've attended vigils put on by SGIS students to commemorate the lives of innocent victims killed worldwide at the hands of violent extremism and war. I've been consistently impressed by the ability of SGIS students to activate and inspire. Our country is changing, the world is changing, and our work as student leaders these past 4 years has, at least to an extent, been the cause for that progress. The Bloomington High School South student I used to be could not have fathomed the astounding movements I would experience during my 4 years in SGIS. Just as there was no prompt given for writing this speech, none of us were given a formula for how to do college. Luckily for us, we studied in a school with vast resources, diverse faculty, passionate students, and exciting opportunities. Each of us found a movement to be a part of. That is the beauty of the SGIS experience. We come to a small, beautiful town in the Midwest, and we study issues that are so much greater than we are. We find our passion here and learn how to change the world. As Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote to his son in his transformative book, Between the World and Me, you are growing into consciousness, and my wish for you is that you feel no need to constrict yourself to make other people comfortable. My wish for this graduating class of SGIS students, including myself, is that we continue fighting. We take what the past 4 years have given us, and we run with that energy. We cannot be complacent. We must strive to effect the change we envision. I know we can do it because I've seen us do it again and again over the past 4 years. Now we head out into a world without a prompt or rubric. By the time we're through with that blank page in front of us now, there won't be a single unmarked space upon it. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2016.
Thanks, Megan, and we couldn't be more excited for you about your Fulbright. And it's now my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Assistant Dean Hillary Kahn.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a pleasure. Thank you so much to both of you. Really, your passion, your intellect, this is why we do what we do. So just, again, thank you. We're very proud of you. We will now honor our graduating students individually. And I'd like to invite the first row of students, including our student speakers, to begin to form a line to my left. People will guide you, so it's the first, who do you students? Yes, perfect, thank you. I also want everybody to know, as you can see, we are taking photographs, and we have a photographer here on my right. You will be available, so please note, everybody, you will be available to download these within a week or in about a week. So to the graduates, once you get a handshake from Dean Feinstein and receive your congratulations, please turn to the right so that our photographer can take a photo of you both of you. I'd also like to introduce our faculty readers. We have Professor Patrick Kenny, who's a professor in international studies, actually the chair of our international studies department, and also a professor in history, and also Professor John Walbridge, who's a professor in our Near Eastern Languages and Cultures department. And I also want to thank them for their part in the celebration. John.
It's Megan Kelly, Bloomington, Indiana. She's a major in international studies and Spanish. Would like to thank her parents, sister, and extended family. Julia Kali of Beijing, MA in Eastern Languages and Culture. Would like to thank her mother and husband, Chris, for their support of the conference, and who also is one of my students, I'm proud to say. Ramirez of Elkhart, Indiana, major in International Studies, CL in Spanish. I'd like to thank her family, friends, and mentors. Claudia Valeria Geraldo, Caracas, Venezuela. This is a major in International Studies and Psychology. I'd like to thank her parents for leaving everything they had and loved so I can have a better future. This is not only my achievement, but yours. You get it. Okay, Aaron Xavier Wilson of San Jose, California. He's receiving a BA in International Studies. Would like to thank his mother-in-law, his aunt Renee, and all the rest of his family who made this possible. Jacob Barton, Newport Beach, California, majoring in International Studies. Would like to thank his mother, his grandfather, his aunts and uncles who all came and supported him. Valerie Gregorka, Valparaiso, Indiana, major in linguistics and East Asian languages, Japanese. Would like to thank her parents, Anthony and Charlotte Gregorish. Thank you so much for supporting and believing in me for my every step of the way. Selby Warren of Belleville, Illinois. It's an East Asian language major in Chinese. Would like to thank her parents, her professors, and all of the friends that she made at IU. Marjorie Weidman, Silver Spring, Maryland. She's getting a degree in East Asian languages and Japanese. I'd like to thank her mom, her dad, brother, friends, boyfriend, and wonderful professors. Thank you. I owe you everything. Kyle Datt, of Indianapolis, Indiana. He's graduating with a BA in East Asian languages and cultures and Japanese, as well as studio art and biology. I'd like to thank her parents, siblings, and grandparents for coming today, the professors here and in Japan, especially Professor Matsubara for helping me get to this point in SGIS. Brian Holyfield, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, who is receiving a Master of Arts in Russian and East European Studies. I'd like to thank his wife Hannah, his two sons Eli and Gideon for their support and encouragement. Brittany Belkovich of LaPorte, Indiana, who's majoring in Russian and International Studies, who says, I'm so grateful for the support of my parents, looking forward to returning to Russia soon. Go Hoosiers. Jacqueline Vanderkolk of Columbus, Indiana, who's receiving a BA in International Studies, who says, I would like to thank my parents and family for their unending support and love. Claire Wagner of Brownsburg, Indiana, who's majoring in International Studies, English and German, says, thanks to my mom and dad for pushing me to always chase my dreams.
Emma Hughes, who is from Indianapolis, Indiana, is a major in International Studies, Spanish, and Linguistics. Would like to thank her mom, dad, and family, as well as the International Studies and Spanish departments for their support and hard work. Erica Sowers from Muncie, Indiana, an International Studies major, who would like to thank mom and dad for their support. Annalie Patel from Daleville, Indiana, a criminal justice and international studies major. She would like to thank her parents and her brother Avi. Jacob Keller from Indianapolis, BA in International Studies. He would like to thank his parents and grandparents for making this day possible. Their sacrifice made my dreams turn into reality. Rebecca Sanders from Carmel, International Studies BA. She'd like to thank her mom and dad, her brothers Ben and Jordan, her future sister-in-law Jessica, her Nana, her Popeye, and Jane. I love you all and appreciate you every day. Kayla Forsey from Chicago, BA in International Studies. She'd like to thank her parents, grandparents, and dogs for their love and support. Somebody's got to thank the dog. Very good. As well as the Department of International Studies at IU for the opportunities it has given me. Olivia Cavatayo from St. Louis, an East Asian Languages and Cultures major. Thank you to my parents, sister, and grandma for all of their love and support. Michaela Breeze from Wheaton, Illinois, International Studies and East Asian Studies. Thank you to my family and especially my parents, Marty and Diane, for their love and support these past 4 years. Casey Vaughn from Carmel, Indiana, Central Eurasian Studies and Economics. Casey would like to thank her wonderful parents. Caroline Stokes from Montgomery Village, Maryland, International Studies and Central Eurasian Studies. She would like to thank her parents for supporting her all the way from Maryland and to the teachers and staff at the Turkish Flagship Center. John Zachary Forbes from Indianapolis, Indiana, BA in International Studies and in East Asian Languages and Cultures. He'd like to thank his wonderful parents for all their love and support. Thank you to all my family that have been a major part of my life. And finally, thanks to IU, SGIS, and the Chinese flagship for these wonderful years. Aisha Ahmed from Noblesville, Indiana, BA in International Studies. She'd like to thank her family and friends and Professor Noor Amali Ibrahim. Harriet Leishman from Sandwich, England, a BA in International Studies. She would like to thank her parents, friends, and professors for helping her make the most of her time here at IU. Christina Harkleroad from New Palestine, Indiana, International Studies. Thank you to my mom and dad for all they do. Thank you to my family and professors for pushing me. Brianna Felsen from Potomac, Maryland, Near Eastern Languages and Cultures. I would love to thank my family for supporting me and answering my frantic phone calls. It was all worth it because I am employed. Tyler Russell from Kokomo, Indiana, Near Eastern Languages and Cultures. I would like to thank my friends and family for their continued support over the last 2 years at IU. Neely Southwick from Greenwood, Indiana, BA in International Studies, in Central Eurasian Studies, and in Criminal Justice. Thank you to my family for all of your support and encouragement, and to my advisors and instructors for a fulfilling and fantastic IU experience. Marine Brichard. I am a citizen of the world, she writes, a master's degree in Near Eastern Languages and Cultures. I thank my mother for giving me the opportunity to come to the U.S. for grad school and for always supporting me. I thank my father for teaching me to be ambitious and hardworking. I thank my siblings and grandparents and boyfriend for their continuous encouragement. Sung Hun Lee, Seoul, South Korea, International Studies BA. Special thanks to my family, to Emily Williams, my advisor, to Professor Sarah Bowerly-Dansman, to Professor Ethan Michelson, who helped me with my capstone seminar, and Professor Olga Kalanzidou. Abigail Leonard Alamari from Bloomington, Indiana. International Studies, Near Eastern Languages and Cultures, International and Comparative Education minors. Thank you to my husband Annas, my mother Nancy for supporting my return to school at age 32, and to my kids Zaid and Salma for being my inspiration to go and finish. Unseal Sood. Here we go. I'm sorry, too much information. Got it. Unseal Sood. Got it. Carmel, Indiana. International Studies and Global Health and Government. I would like to thank Raj Sood, Tracy Harbaugh, Courtney Sood, Nina Sood for helping me get into medical school. Kun Naum, Indianapolis, Indiana, International Studies. Thank you to Professor Gardner Bovington, Advisor Emily Williams, and my mentor, Professor Olga Kalanzidou. Jeff Heerdink, Chandler, Indiana, an MA in European Studies. Jeff would like to thank his parents and other family for their support during his graduate studies, along with all the faculty, friends, and colleagues who helped along the way. Eric Trotsky, Michigan City, Indiana, French International Studies majors and a German minor. I'm enormously grateful to all my fellow students who I've spent the last 4 years with, as well as to my parents and SGIS Language Department faculty. We did it. Eric Cervantes from Indianapolis, International Studies, minor in Spanish and Management. Thank you, family, friends, and God. Go Hoosiers.
But before we leave, I want to thank the organizers of this event, Olga and Chuck Carney. Olga's already been acknowledged for her terrific mentorship of our students. Chuck Carney is our Director of Communication. Lauren Job, Zach Muller, there he is. This is our first graduation ceremony in this space, but of course it was seamless, as you can all see. It worked out really well. I want to thank all of you, particularly our student speakers who did such a fabulous job, as well as our faculty readers. That's a tough assignment, and you handled it with great dignity and clarity as well. And again, congratulations to the class of 2016, and please enjoy a small buffet in the lounge. Congratulations.